Hi and welcome. My name is Alicia, and today we talk about the Hypochlorous. Right now, you're probably spraying hospital-grade disinfectant on your face several times a day, thinking it's gentle skincare. You've been convinced that $30 saltwater will erase wrinkles and cure acne. But here's what dermatologists aren't telling you. You're destroying your skin barrier with every spray. Let me show you the research they're hiding and how to stop the damage immediately. Please listen to me well. Right now, millions of people are spraying hospital-grade disinfectant directly onto their faces multiple times a day. And they think they're doing advanced skincare. You guys, we need to talk about hypochlorous acid because what's happening out there is absolutely insane. Let me tell you what I've been seeing. People are replacing their entire skincare routines with a single spray bottle. They're stopping prescription medications because social media told them this is gentler. They're paying $30 for what is essentially electrified saltwater. And they genuinely believe it's going to erase their wrinkles, cure their acne, fix their rosacea, and rebuild their skin barrier all at once. Here's the part that's going to make you angry. The ingredient itself. It costs pennies to produce. You run electricity through salt water, and boom, you've got hypochlorous acid. But somehow, beauty brands convinced you to pay premium prices for it. Wrapped it in a cute bottle, got a few dermatologists on Instagram to call it a miracle. And suddenly everyone's spraying their face like it's a kitchen counter that needs sanitizing. And before you come at me saying your dermatologist recommended it, I want you to ask yourself something. Did they recommend it as your entire skincare routine? Did they say to use it 10 times a day? Did they promise it would replace your retinoid, your vitamin C, your sunscreen, and your moisturizer? Or did they suggest it as a supplementary treatment for one specific condition? The reason I'm so fired up about this is because I've read the actual research, not influencer captions, not brand marketing materials, but the actual peer-reviewed studies. And what those studies say versus what TikTok is promising you are two completely different universes. Some of you are damaging your skin barrier right now and you don't even know it. You think you're being gentle and natural because it's just water and a molecule your body makes? But you're essentially power washing your skin microbiome multiple times a day. And then wondering why your skin is getting more sensitive, more irritated, and more problematic. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to tell you exactly what hypochlorous acid actually is. It's where it legitimately works, where the science is completely missing how the beauty industry is lying to you about it. And most importantly, how to tell if you're one of the people using it completely wrong. By the end of this video, you're going to know more than 90% of the people buying these sprays. And you're going to save yourself a lot of money and skin damage. Trust me on this. You definitely need to hear what I'm about to tell you. Okay. Let's start with what hypochlorous acid actually is, because the marketing story you've been sold is only half true. Yes, your white blood cells produce hypochlorous acid when they're fighting infections. Yes, hospitals use it to disinfect wounds. Yes, it kills bacteria, fungi, and viruses quickly and effectively. All of that is absolutely true. But here's what they're not telling you in those 30-second TikTok videos. Hypochlorous acid is a biocide. That means it kills living organisms. It's an oxidizing agent that literally breaks apart the protein structures in microbial cell walls. That's how it works. It doesn't gently persuade bacteria to leave, doesn't politely ask fungi to relocate, destroys them through oxidative stress. Now, when hospitals use this for wound care, they're using specific concentrations, usually between 200 and 500 parts per million. They're applying it to open wounds where infection is the primary concern, and killing bacteria is more important than preserving the natural skin ecosystem. That makes complete sense in a medical context. But here's where it gets interesting. Most of these beauty sprays you're buying contain between 50 and 200 parts per million. That's weaker than medical-grade formulations, which should tell you something right there. And some brands, the ones you're finding on Amazon for $15, they won't even tell you the concentration. That means you could be spraying essentially homeopathic water on your face. Or you could be using something too strong for daily cosmetic use. You have no idea. Let me tell you what the actual research shows. There are solid studies proving hypochlorous acid helps with atopic dermatitis. Eczema patients who use hypochlorous acid baths or sprays alongside their regular treatments see reduced bacterial colonization and improved symptoms. That's real. That's proven. That's published in medical journals. There's also evidence it works for seborrheic dermatitis, that flaky scalp condition caused by fungal overgrowth. The antimicrobial action makes sense there. And for wound care, the evidence is extensive and undeniable. But here's what doesn't have research behind it. Anti-aging claims, 0 peer-reviewed studies. Using it as a primary acne treatment. Minimal data and what exists shows it working alongside other treatments, not as a standalone miracle. Rosacea treatment. Purely anecdotal, no controlled trials. Skin barrier repair. Actually contradictory to how the ingredient works because it's antimicrobial. And here's the thing that should really concern you. Your skin has a microbiome, beneficial bacteria that protect your skin, regulate pH, compete with harmful bacteria, and support your immune function. Recent research shows that disrupting your skin microbiome leads to sensitivity, inflammation, and barrier dysfunction. Hypochlorous acid doesn't discriminate between good bacteria and bad bacteria. It kills indiscriminately. So when you're spraying this multiple times a day, every single day, what do you think is happening to your skin's bacterial ecosystem? Nobody has studied the long-term effects of chronic hypochlorous acid use on the skin microbiome. Nobody. That research doesn't exist. But brands are selling it as a daily essential that supports your barrier. Does that sound like solid science to you? Or does that sound like marketing? Now let me tell you about the absolute chaos I've been seeing from viewers and in online skincare communities. Because people are using hypochlorous acid in ways that are genuinely damaging their skin. First, there's the overuse problem. I had a viewer message me saying she sprays hypochlorous acid on her face 8 times a day. 8 times. Morning routine, after workout, midday refresh, before makeup, after work, post-cleanse, before bed. And sometimes in the middle of the night if her skin feels irritated. She genuinely believed that more applications meant better results, like she was watering a plant that needed constant moisture. Here's what's actually happening. She's stripping her skin microbiome repeatedly throughout the day. Her skin is getting more irritated, so she sprays more, thinking it's soothing. But the irritation is coming from the constant microbial disruption. It's a vicious cycle. And she's trapped in it because TikTok told her this spray is gentle and natural, so you can use it as much as you want. Then there's the substitution disaster. People are replacing their entire skincare routines with hypochlorous acid spray. No cleanser, no moisturizer, no treatment products, just the spray. They think because it kills bacteria and reduces inflammation, it's doing everything their skin needs. Let me be very clear about this. Hypochlorous acid does not remove oil, makeup, or environmental debris. It does not hydrate your skin. It does not provide occlusion to prevent water loss. It does not deliver treatment ingredients for specific concerns. It kills microbes and temporarily reduces inflammation. That's it. One viewer told me she eliminated her moisturizer because the spray made her skin feel fresh and clean. 3 weeks later, her skin was dry, flaky, and more sensitive than ever. Of course it was. She was disinfecting without protecting or nourishing. But here's the one that really concerns me. People are stopping proven medical treatments because they think hypochlorous acid is a natural alternative. I'm talking about stopping prescription tretinoin, stopping benzoyl peroxide, stopping azelaic acid, and replacing all of it with a spray that has minimal research supporting its use as a primary acne treatment. One person stopped their prescription retinoid because an influencer said hypochlorous acid is gentler and just as effective for anti-aging. 3 months later, their skin texture had regressed, their fine lines were more visible, and their acne had returned. Gentle does not mean effective. Those are not the same thing. And then there's the concentration confusion. People are buying the cheapest option they can find without checking if it actually contains therapeutic levels of hypochlorous acid. Some of these products have such low concentrations that they're essentially useless. You're paying $15 to spray fancy water on your face and expecting medical-grade results. The worst part? When these products don't work, people assume they need to use them more frequently or buy a different brand. When the real problem is that they're trying to use a niche supplementary ingredient as a complete skincare solution. You guys, this is not how skincare works. This is not how chemistry works. And this is definitely not what the research supports. Now let's talk about how you got tricked into believing hypochlorous acid is a miracle cure-all. Because the marketing around this ingredient is absolutely masterful manipulation. First, they hit you with a medical legitimacy angle. Hospitals use it for wound care, so it must be amazing for your skin, right? That's like saying because blood pressure pills lowers your blood pressure, you should use it for your bruised rib. Context matters. Application matters. Concentration matters. Purpose matters. Hospitals use hypochlorous acid to disinfect open wounds where bacterial infection is an immediate threat. They're not using it for anti-aging or barrier support or general skin health. They're using it to prevent deadly infections in compromised tissue. That's a completely different scenario than your morning skincare routine. But brands don't explain that nuance, do they? They just say used in medical settings and let your brain make the connection that it must be beneficial for all skin concerns. That's intentional misdirection. Then there's the dermatologist-approved stamp. You see a dermatologist on TikTok or Instagram calling hypochlorous acid a game changer, and you assume that's a medical consensus. But let me tell you what's actually happening. That dermatologist either has a sponsorship deal with the brand, has their own hypochlorous acid product line, or genuinely believes it's helpful for the specific niche conditions where research exists, like eczema. When they say it's approved or recommended, they don't mean it replaces your entire routine or treats every skin concern. But the way it's edited and presented makes it seem like a universal miracle. And most viewers don't have the scientific literacy to understand the difference between this can help as supplementary treatment for bacterial skin conditions, and this is a cure-all wonder spray. Here's another brilliant manipulation. They call it natural and clean. The marketing language is always nature-identical molecule, made from just salt water and electricity, non-toxic, free from harsh chemicals. This appeals directly to people who are afraid of ingredient lists they can't pronounce. But you guys, hypochlorous acid is a manufactured chemical solution. Yes, your body makes it. Your body also makes stomach acid, but you're not putting that on your face. Natural doesn't automatically mean gentle or appropriate for cosmetic use. It's a biocide by definition. It kills living organisms. That's not a judgment, that's just chemistry. And let's talk about the pricing scam. The actual production cost of hypochlorous acid is incredibly low. Salt water and electricity. That's it. The technology to produce it is not expensive or complicated. But brands are charging $25 to $50 for a few ounces of this solution. Why? Because they've created perceived value through medical association, influencer marketing, and clean beauty positioning. They've convinced you that because hospitals use it, and because dermatologists mention it, and because it's a molecule your body makes, it's worth premium pricing. You're not paying for the ingredient. You're paying for the story they've told you about the ingredient. The profit margins on these products are astronomical. And every time you repurchase, they're making money off a product that costs them pennies to produce. Does that make you angry? It should, because you've been sold expensive salt water with a medical halo attached to it. Okay, let's get a bit deeper into the actual science. Because this is where the gap between marketing claims and research evidence becomes absolutely undeniable. I went through the peer-reviewed studies on hypochlorous acid in dermatology. Not blog posts, not influencer opinions, actual published research in medical journals. And here's what the evidence supports. For atopic dermatitis, there are multiple controlled studies showing that hypochlorous acid baths and sprays reduce the bacterial load on skin, specifically Staphylococcus aureus, which makes eczema worse. Patients using hypochlorous acid alongside their prescribed eczema treatments saw improved symptoms and fewer flare-ups. That evidence is solid. For wound healing and infection prevention in compromised skin, the research is extensive. Decades of hospital use with proven safety and efficacy. No debate there. For seborrheic dermatitis, There's some evidence that the antimicrobial action helps reduce the Malassezia fungus that contributes to that condition. It's not as robust as the eczema research, but it exists. Now, here's where it gets interesting. For acne as a primary treatment, studies are minimal, and the ones that exist test hypochlorous acid alongside benzoyl peroxide, salicylic acid, or other proven acne treatments. It's never tested as a standalone miracle cure. The research position is basically this: might help as an additional option, not replace everything else with this. For anti-aging claims, I searched extensively. 0 peer-reviewed studies showing hypochlorous acid reduces wrinkles, improves elasticity, or has any anti-aging benefits whatsoever. 0. That entire claim is fabricated marketing. For rosacea, purely anecdotal. Some dermatologists report patients feeling less irritated, but there are no controlled trials, no published studies, no evidence-based support for using it as a rosacea treatment. And here's the big one: for skin barrier repair and support. Actually, contradictory. The research on skin microbiome health shows that beneficial bacteria are essential for barrier function. Disrupting your microbiome leads to barrier dysfunction, not repair. Yet brands are selling antimicrobial hypochlorous acid as a barrier-supporting treatment. Every single study I found used hypochlorous acid as an adjunct therapy, meaning alongside other treatments, not as a replacement. The research position is this can be a helpful additional tool for specific microbial-driven skin conditions, and not this is a complete skincare solution. But that's not what's being sold to you, is it? You're being told it's a miracle spray that treats everything from acne to aging to sensitivity. And that claim is not supported by the scientific literature, period. All right, so if you already bought hypochlorous acid spray, or if you're considering it, let me tell you how to use it intelligently instead of following the social media terrible advice. First, understand what it's actually good for. If you have bacterial-driven skin issues like occasional breakouts, post-workout bacterial overgrowth, or eczema flares, hypochlorous acid might be a useful supplementary treatment. Emphasis on supplementary. It's not your primary treatment. It's not your complete routine. It's an occasional addition. Second, frequency matters. Most people should be using this 2 to 3 times per week maximum, not twice a day every single day. Think of it like an occasional reset button for bacterial balance, not a daily essential. If you're using it daily for more than a few weeks, you're potentially disrupting your skin microbiome in ways we don't fully understand yet. Third, concentration is critical. Look for products that list their concentration between 50 and 200 parts per million. If the brand won't tell you the concentration, don't buy it. Email them and ask. If they dodge the question or give you vague marketing answers, that's a red flag. You deserve to know what strength you're putting on your skin. Fourth, storage and stability. Hypochlorous acid degrades when exposed to light and over time. Most formulations have a shelf life of 6 to 12 months if stored properly in a cool, dark place. If you've had your bottle for over a year, you're probably spraying degraded solution that's lost its effectiveness. That expiration date matters. Fifth, what to pair it with. You still need to cleanse your face properly to remove oil, makeup, and debris. You still need a moisturizer to hydrate and protect your barrier. You still need sunscreen during the day. You still need your treatment products like retinoids or vitamin C. Hypochlorous acid does not replace any of those things. It's a supplementary antimicrobial option. That's it. Here's when to use it smartly. After a sweaty workout before you shower to reduce bacterial buildup. As a spot treatment on active breakouts a few times a week. During eczema flares alongside your prescribed treatments. They're shaving to prevent irritation and folliculitis. Those are appropriate use cases. Here's when to stop using it. If your skin gets drier, more irritated, or more sensitive, stop immediately. If you're not seeing any benefit after a month, stop wasting your money. If you find yourself reaching for it compulsively throughout the day, if you've developed a psychological dependence on a product that's probably making things worse. And please do not stop your prescription medications or proven treatments to replace them with hypochlorous acid spray. That's not smart skincare. That's falling for marketing hype. Let's bring this home because I want you to walk away from this video with absolute clarity about hypochlorous acid. This ingredient is not a miracle. It's not a scam either. It's a niche antimicrobial tool that has been dramatically overhyped by the beauty industry and misused by consumers who are desperate for simple solutions. If you have eczema, bacterial acne, or other microbial-driven skin inflammation, hypochlorous acid might be a helpful supplementary treatment alongside your regular skincare routine and any prescribed medications. The research supports that specific use. But if you're hoping this spray will erase your wrinkles, cure your rosacea, replace your retinoid fix, your damaged barrier, or serve as your entire skincare routine, you're wasting your money on expensive saltwater and potentially damaging your skin microbiome in the process. The marketing you've been exposed to is intentionally misleading. They took a legitimate medical ingredient with specific applications and inflated it into a cure-all miracle product. They used medical credibility, influencer endorsements, and clean beauty language to make you believe you need this spray for everything. And it worked because you're smart enough to be attracted to science-based skincare. But most people don't have time to read the actual research studies. So here's what I want you to do. If you're using hypochlorous acid correctly for appropriate conditions at reasonable frequency, great, keep doing that. But if you're spraying it 8 times a day, if you've eliminated other essential skincare steps, if you've stopped medical treatments, or if you're expecting it to solve skin concerns it was never proven to address, you need to stop right now. Your skin deserves better than trends. It deserves evidence-based care, appropriate product selection, and realistic expectations. If this video opened your eyes to how marketing manipulates skincare consumers, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel if you want more research-based reality checks on viral skincare trends. And drop a comment telling me what skincare trend you want me to investigate next, because I'm just getting started exposing the gaps between hype and science. Remember, you're smarter than the algorithm thinks you are. Start acting like it. Thank you for watching my video, and if you like it, please like and subscribe. Comments are welcome.